everyone, welcome to episode 23 of Pineapple Knits. I'm Marina and you can visit me on Instagram and Ravelry at Pineapple Yarn, and you can visit my hand-dyed yarn company at pineappleyarn.com. Welcome back to the podcast this week. I'm so glad you've joined me this week. My voice is a little bit hoarse. I'm hoping it's just allergies. But please bear with me. I hope it's not too annoying to listen to. But I do have my tea, so keep everything nice and warm. Hopefully I can get through the podcast without totally losing my voice. I'm actually drinking one of my favorite teas. I'm sure I have told you about this before. This is Yogi Tea India Spice. And I love it because it's a very flavorful tea, and I believe it's just an herbal tea. I don't think it has any black tea in it, but it's very spicy. It's very flavorful, and I love it when it gets a little cold. I actually buy this on Amazon, and I get like 6 boxes at once because it is so good. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me again this week. If you're a new viewer, thanks so much for joining me. I'm little background. I actually moved here to central Indiana from Hawaii, and this is my second fall here. I moved here last year with my husband and my kids. And so I'm taking advantage of the cold weather. Yes, I think mid-50s is cold. It is cold to me. And so I am taking advantage of it by knitting like crazy, and really feeling the pressure right now. I feel like I have to knit for all of my kids or they will freeze. I mean, literally freeze. It's so funny. My husband thinks I'm a little dramatic, which I know I'm being a little dramatic, but like my baby boy, I keep thinking, oh my gosh, I really need to knit him socks so he's not cold. And of course I could go, and I have gone and bought him socks, but he needs wool socks, you know? He needs wool socks. I feel like, it's like a Little House on the Prairie, and everyone needs their woolens so they don't get cold, but it's so funny. Anyway, I am happy to be here. I'm actually wearing one of my favorite shawls. This is the Dotted Raise Fade. I've worn this before because I love it so much. This is actually, let me see, I know I've mentioned it before. I'm pretty sure this is my yarn on top, Coral Cavern, and I only say it hesitatingly because I actually dyed it up this week following my recipe, and I haven't dyed it for 2 years, and it came out completely different. So I must have missed a step. I mean, it's still really beautiful, but it does not look this orangey, peachy color. Oh well. The next color in this right here, this is Gynx yarns, and it was an experimental dye lot. Then I had, let me look here, I had Koigu, and it was a number. I don't remember. I know I'll put it in the show notes because I'm pretty sure I can find it. And then this is Mirth by Homespun House. I love that color. It's one of my favorites. So pretty, I love it so much. And then my dress form's wearing my Beekeeper cardigan, and I always forget it. It's on the dress form, and I need to wear it because it's cold. So let me start with my works in progress. You'll probably see that my background's a little bit different today. I've actually been rearranging the room in which I work, and it's kind of plain. There aren't a lot on the walls, but actually there's nothing on the walls. But I'm just rearranging it so it's a little more useful, and I can maximize the space that I have because I'm growing and I need more space. And so I might show you a little bit of what I've been doing later in the podcast. So I'm in front of a table right now, and that's why I have some yarn over here and my dress form over here. It looks a little bit different this week, but I actually have my first work in progress in my cute sheepy bag. This is my shawl and sweater bag available in the shop. This is a really large size, and I love this bag so much. I just thought it was adorable when I saw it. I saw the fabric, but I actually was not monogamously knitting on my mystery knit along, my texture time mystery knit along this week. And I'll talk about that next after this one, but I actually made great progress on my throwback sweater. I actually finished the sleeves. I'm so excited about it. And so I'm actually at the point now where I need to weave in the ends and block it and steek it. So after that, I just have the collar on top and I have the band on the front, and then I'll be done. I actually tried this on today. It is so cozy. It fits so great already. I'm so excited to wear this. So I really need to get going on it and work on it because I have a lot of motivation to finish this right now. And as you know, when you have motivation, you just gotta jump on that wagon and go, right? But so what I did on the sleeves, I actually knit, I think I knit 2 less decreases, if that makes sense, and then straight down, just because it fit my arm best that way. And then the cuff, I did a 4x4 rib, just a little different than the pattern. And I think the cuff actually, I probably did it a little shorter as well. I am in real life, I'm very petite. I don't know if you can say in real life, but I'm a very petite person. And so I know one thing that I hesitated with a little bit on this pattern, not hesitated, but something that I wanted to change are, in the picture, the cuffs are very, very long, and that just shortens me even more. So I need things that lengthen. So that's why I went with just a little bit shorter cuff. But anyway, very happy with this. I obviously made some modifications to this pattern, as I've spoken about in the past. I'm going to steek this, which means cut it down the middle and make it into a cardigan. The original pattern actually calls for knitting and purling as a regular cardigan, I guess. So I added 5 stitches to the middle, as you can see, and so that is the modification I made on that. And that's why you probably notice that the rib in the front is looks a little funky, but it'll all work out. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm so excited to wear it, and hopefully I'll get some good knitting time this week. I actually finished the sleeves in 2 days, and that's saying a lot because I don't have a lot of knitting time. And so, yeah, they just flew. And so I was very excited about that because I want to wear it. But so that's that. And I guess I should talk about the yarns. This main color is actually the same color I used in my hipster shawl. It is my new color, pineapple yarn in Profound, and it is kind of a blue purpley color. And then the color work on top, this is my color Glint of Dawn. The second is Malabrigo. It's actually a single ply, and it is called, I believe it's called Glazed Carrot. And then the third is another one of my colorways, Pineapple Yarn in Heliotrope, and it's actually a non-superwash sport weight yarn held double. So I did just all kinds of craziness in the sweater, but you know what? I like the way it looks. I think it's going to block out awesome. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to working more on this sweater. But let me show you my next work in progress, which is my Texture Time Mystery Knit Along Shawl by Stephen West. And if you don't want to be surprised, or you don't want the surprise spoiled, I flub that up every week. But if you don't want to be spoiled, don't want your surprise to be spoiled, I will put a timestamp down right here and just skip ahead to that time. But otherwise, I will show you what progress I've made on that this week. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. When I saw Clue 3, I calculated how long it was going to take me to knit all the rows, and I was a little discouraged because I really, really like keeping up with the pattern. As each clue is released, I really like to be finished with the clues. That's just how I am, and you know, I know some people wait until all the clues are released. They can see if what it looks like, so they can see if they even want to knit it, which I think is really funny. And I think it's great because you might as well knit what you want to knit, right? If knitting's for pleasure, I was just watching the Espestrico podcast, and the ladies on that podcast were saying how you know, if you knit for pleasure, and so they tell their customers, like, pick out things that you like and don't force yourself to knit things that you don't. And I thought, that's, yes, of course, like, you should only do that. So I kind of took that advice to heart and put down this shawl and actually worked on my throwback cardigan, which I totally didn't even mention that the pattern or the designer. It's the Throwback by Andrea Mowry. Sorry about that. I'm sure I'll put it on the down bar. But anyway, so I think I finished about a fourth of clue 3. I love the clue. I love the direction in which the shawl is headed. So that's not an issue, which is great. It's just the fact that I knew that I wasn't going to be done by Friday. I knew that it was going to take me about 2 weeks if I knit on it all, like, I mean, we're talking several hours every day. And I just was a little discouraged. So let me show you where I am at right now with it. This is clue 3. It is a really, really pretty, beautiful textured section. It is reminiscent of kind of a feather and fan pattern. It's not exactly, but as you can see, it kind of looks like that. And let me give you kind of an overview of the entire shawl. It's getting big and it's kind of a funny shape. But this is where it is at right now. So this middle portion was clue 1. These wavy pattern right here, the squiggles, that was clue 2. And then clue 3 is this right here. And so it will be echoed on the opposite side as well. Yeah, so I really like it. I like the design of it. I followed the pattern exactly. They asked to use, let's see, I believe it was contrasting color 2 and 3, maybe? Not sure. But I used exactly the colors, or the contrasting colors that Stephen recommends. Yeah, you know, here's the thing. I just trust his patterns because I guess it's less work for me because I'm not swatching to see, you know, what colors go with what. But then also, they just go well. And after doing several of his patterns, I've just learned that everything flows well, and you just trust the pattern, and yeah, it all turns out. But these are the 2 colors of the clue 3. So this is called Let's Sleep In, and this one is called Pale Mauve. And they both are really, really pretty together. So yeah, this is definitely not the colors I would normally go for, but I kind of like that. I did that purposefully because I wanted to stretch myself a little bit. I mean, not everything can be hot pink, you know? I mean, I suppose it could if that's what I really wanted to do, but yeah, I just kind of want to mix it up a little bit, and I definitely think I have done that with this. So yeah, I think so far it's coming along. I'm sure when it's blocked, it's going to be giant. And so we'll just see where clue 4 brings us. But so far, so good. It's just a lot. I do want to say one thing about clue 3 is that it's not difficult. So You don't have a lot of the tedious things like the Latvian braids that you had in Clue 2. You don't have the brioche that you had in Clue 1. So there is a nice break in Clue 3. It's just a lot of knitting. And so I actually can knit it and follow the pattern when I'm watching TV or chatting. So that's good, right? But at the same time, it's just a lot of knitting. So I've kind of told myself that I need to work on it every day, at least, several rows, and maybe calculate like how many rows I'm going to finish every day, just so I have a nice pace and I can kind of calculate where I'm going to be at a certain time. So it ended up being, I want to say it's almost 300 rows total for Clue 3. So that's a lot of knitting, at least for me. I'm not a super fast knitter. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I'm still loving it. And I will be I'm kind of looking forward to getting it done, just because I'm a quick project knitter and I really like to have projects done. But at the same time, when you finish a Stephen West project, I feel like it's always a really big accomplishment. And so that's always a really nice feeling when you get something like that done. But yeah, that's all I've been working on this week. I'm going to show you now some yarn I have dyed up for the update this week. Okay, so I know I mentioned on my last podcast that I am going to be having an update at pineappleyarn.com this Friday, October 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I have, I guess, bi-monthly updates. I think that's how I say it. So I have updates every other Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So this week's an update week, and I have dyed up a lot of yarn. No new project bags, no new sock sets, just yarn, but I have dyed several bases, and I'm not even going to name all the bases. If you see a color, I'd recommend just going to the shop and looking, because I've tried to add some DK. I've added even a few colors have some single ply yarn, and I've dyed up a lot of mohair too. So let me just go ahead and show you the mohair first. I have a restock in the Princess colorway, which is a really pretty kind of medium neon pink. I have added Heliotrope to my mohair collection. This is the same color that was in my throwback sweater. It's a really pretty kind of pinky purpley color. I will have my new colorway Passionate, which I am just super loving this color because it's a really nice shaded blend of colors. So this is Passionate. I will have Shamrock, which is just this awesome, bright, vivid green. I love this color. And I really love it with Passionate. I think those two are really, really pretty together. And then I've also added Glowworm, which I'll tell you guys, I'm kind of obsessed with this color. It is a bright, almost like a highlighter yellow-green color. And I know it's blowing out because of my lights, but this color is awesome. And I've also added this in a DK, which I love. I think this would be so pretty. The DK would be beautiful as an accessory just because it's so bright and fun. But this mohair is, I'm just loving this. Wouldn't this be pretty in a birds of a feather with a really like speckly bright yarn? Like, look at this together. This is Sunset Beach. I think that these two, oh my word, I'm kind of obsessed. Those would be really pretty together. But this is Glowworm. And then I will have it in Candy Apple, which is a really pretty soft red color. And let's see what else I have here. This is a really pretty orange, soft orange. It's almost like a tangerine color, and this is called Solar Flare. And then I have added a new color to the shop. This is a beautiful, kind of like a red-orange color. And I love it. So let me show you this other red. This other red has a lot of pink in it, has a lot of pink undertones in it. This is definitely more of like a red-orange color. I'll just put it next to Solar Flare so you can kind of see the differences. So these two are really similar, but I really gravitate towards this. This is Candy Apple. I really gravitate towards this because it has a lot of pink, but I really like this because it has a lot of orange. So this new colorway is called Saffron, and I love it. It's not exactly the color of saffron, but it is, I think it's just really pretty and a really pretty red-orange, which I love. So Saffron. I also have that in a DK, which I think is super pretty. But I think that is, besides the colors I showed you last week, I think that is it for the new colors. I will also have, what I mentioned last week, I will also have Teal Wing, Oyster, which is a gray, and Honeycomb. I'm trying to think what else. I may have more. I will have a ton of Mohair, which is exciting. And I want to go ahead and show you some of the new colorways I will be adding as well. Now, these aren't all of the colorways I'll have. I actually have racks that are still drying, which is crazy, but just is what it is. So these are the ones that are dry and ready to go. So I'm going to show you these. But this is Sunset Beach, which I have shown before. It is such a crazy, crazy colorway. This is one of my favorites. Do I say that about every skein? I think I might say that about every yarn. But this really is one of my favorites. I think this is so pretty. So that's Sunset Beach. Then I will have Coral Cavern, which I was talking about earlier when I was talking about my shawl. This is so pretty. It is a really, this has many layers in it. It's a beautiful blended color and has some tonal speckles in it. So that's Coral Cavern. I am restocking Koi, and I'm restocking this because I thought it would be really nice for fall, just to have those warm colors. So that's Koi. And I am restocking Shrimp Cocktail, which is just a fun, funky color. I know this is getting blown out, but I love this color. I don't know if y'all can see it. Sorry for my phone too. So that's Sunset Beach. And then the last color I want to show you is a new one. This is called Singing Scallops, and it is a beautiful pale peach with just all kinds of beautiful speckles. And I will tell you guys, I dyed this purposefully for the speckles and for the knitted fabric that it will that will result from this, because this is going to be so pretty knitted. I can just see it. And so yeah, I've had this idea written down on a little scrap of paper for 2 years, I think. Finally, I did it. Just takes me a while sometimes, but this is called Singing Scallop. And I think that's all I have up here right now. I also forgot to mention Iceberg. I will have that on Mohair as well. And I will have all the rest of the colors that I showed you last week on the podcast. So, yep, that is what I have up here. I have more on my drying racks, but that is all I have dried, but it's okay. So again, my update will be Friday, October 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But right now I want to show you a little bit of what I've been doing up here. I think you guys might kind of get a kick out of it. So let me spin this around so you can see. So here is what I wanted to show you guys this week. This is what I have been working on. I used to contain all of my yarn for sale in the shop in shelves in a closet, and it was getting a little hard just as far as like inventory, seeing what I needed, seeing what needed to be dyed up. And so I just purchased these racks, and I couldn't be more excited to put them on here. This whole room looks like a yarn shop now. It's hilarious, but I'm slowly adding all of my yarn to these racks, and yeah, so I'm just so excited to be able to, first of all, look at the yarn, right? Because it's so beautiful. This is my favorite. They're all my favorite, aren't they? But I'm so excited to be able to see this, but then also just to kind of judge, you know, what I need more of. Do I need more kind of variegated colorways? Is there a tonal that is missing from the shop? So this is what I've been working on so far. And yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. But maybe in the future I will have some new colorways kind of hung up and show you guys on the podcast, like kind of display them and show them that way. Might be a little bit easier for you to see everything that I will have or be adding to the shop. So anyway, I thought you would like that. I love seeing other people's yarn. I'm, as you guys know, obsessed with yarn. So I love seeing other people's stashes. I love seeing what they are selling in their shop. I just love seeing yarn. So I thought you guys might like a little sneak peek of how I store my yarn and how I can see what's in stock. So anyway, that's all I have for this week. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'd love to see you at the shop update this Friday. And if you like the podcast, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up or subscribe to the podcast. It really means a lot, and it actually pushes the podcast out to other like-minded knitters and fiber fanatics. So until next time, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye!